Hello guys and welcome back. So for the ear I would actually do it separately from the head. So I'm gonna go quad draw 2 with nothing selected so I can actually start a new geometry on the ear. And what I'm gonna go for here is defining some of the primary loops that is on the ear. For example, this Y shape here in the middle. Okay. And it goes up over here and it goes in, and maybe it goes down and turn again, go connect it to here and there, and then goes inside and then connect to the other loop here. It loops around the entire contour of the ear, so this one. So one thing about ear edge loop is that it doesn't really matter too much because again it is not gonna deform. So as long as the shape is good, then you should be happy with what kind of topology you end up with. The rigger should be happy, and I don't think anything else would be unhappy about it. But yeah, so that's the primary loops, and that one keeps going to the bottom of it. Okay, and then after that you just need to fill in what's happening in the middle. So here it goes in like that. Actually, let me give those a color coding. So this one is the high ground. Let me turn it to something warm. And then let me keep going. So here, let's keep going inwards. And that goes into. Oh, like that. And that can keep going and going around like this to transfer to the bottom part. So yeah, this actually should be more or less like this. Okay. Oh, you know what, I forget to create a inside, so that's the going down part, and that one actually turns up there. I'm thinking yes, it's gonna be actually over here, right? So just think about the faces you're doing, what direction it is going, what shape it's representing. So here, let me finish this real quick so we can talk about it. So for this part, even it's not finished, what I'm thinking when I'm doing that loop and that loop and this one, those loops are supposed to be, you got a slightly cooler color here. Doesn't really change, huh? Oh, okay. So those purple ones are the thickness or the head. of that structure, that Y shape. And then the gray ones here are when it transfers to flat interior or the ground. So you can think of that as the orange ones are the mountain top, the purple ones are the side of the mountain, the gray ones are the ground, if that makes sense. Okay, let me keep doing quadratic. Connect it there. I should be able to just connect to the outside, but I may need one more loop here in the middle for that part, because kind of dipping in here, I may actually end up with some manual tweaking later on. Fix, fill that in. Okay, just keep doing this and you should be happy with the result. One of the things we can do here is, for this guy, I can make it go in just to mimic what's happening at the bottom. So because I don't want a lot of loop going outwards, okay, so I may choose to have again one more loop over here, so I end up with lesser loop going up, if that makes sense. I still need loop here though. Which is okay because that part is having a very rounded, very refined contour, so I think more loop would be nice, and those loops can actually disappear when they transfers to the top, so I don't really have to worry too much about that part. Okay, so this goes in. Yeah, that's how it ends. Okay, so that's the mountain top. That's the those are the side of the mountain, those ones. Okay, and then let me keep going from there. I think I can end up like this for the interior, and I just need to keep doing that and I should be good. And what's happening here is even more less important. It's just the hole here, so I can fill it in. Just have those loops going. That might be a really big one, so just to make shape looks better, I may end up actually having a loop there, but because that's a loop like that, I may choose to have the loop also here, so that I'm still thinking about if I'm doing a loop, I will have that loop, so it's going to be a loop all the way and connect it to the other side, so it meets the loop from the other side instead of this. Okay, alright, so that's the hole here. I just need to maybe keep extruding there. It will be easier actually to use Maya's traditional extrusion to finish that hole, so I will leave it like that over there, and let's move on to the rest of the ear. I don't really need that. Now here I have those two loops. if I have those two more loops here, I can make it all work, but I don't want them to be all, you know, eventually loops that way, and I have to connect that to the face. So instead of doing that, I may choose to actually make them go inwards, or maybe just finished there. So let me actually make that to the easy way. I'm not gonna make them go all the way there, but I want them to be finished somewhere actually when the ear becomes really flat. So those are really flat already, so I don't want them to be keep going. I don't need that much loop to represent it anyways, so I just end those over here. That's where the ear stops having that inside concave area, if that makes sense. So I end those over there. Okay. So now I have a simpler geometry on the front. And that one can keep going up to form the side of the ear. And by the way, I may need to delete the history. Then keep going. One more here, one more here. Holding down. And holding down extend to extend some area out first, and then I can extend the middle ones and connect them. Let me have one more loop here. So over here the ear actually grows and connected to the side of the face, right, or the transition. I'm just trying to figure out that concave area here, and it's gonna be more like this kind of connection, and it's gonna be like this, and then connect it there. Okay, then we have this one finished here. Now what I have to deal with here though is that where does those two loops go, because it actually gets smaller and smaller, and do I really want them to be finished over there and in the front? If I do, then those two loops will go up, if that makes sense. So I may choose to actually make it end like this over here, so that they're not going all the way to the front, because it actually doesn't have that anymore over here. Okay, or maybe I can choose to have one loop. I'm not sure. Let's see how the connection works. So now I have the ear and then the face. Let me just give them the same material, and then let's combine them together. And then we can go Quadro 2 again and figure out the connections. So those are the ones, the front, the side, and here, that one, and this one. Okay, it's sort of working, but I don't really like what's happening here. I think, you know what, I don't really want that corner shape because my corner is really small. Again, like what I mentioned earlier, I don't think that's gonna be something critical. So right there, I'm going up. So here, one thing I'm thinking is that I may choose to make the loop go that way over here, because I have the neck to be connected at the bottom, right? So that's where I'm gonna position that shape. Okay. So the ear is connected properly. Now here what's happening is that I can choose where to have that penta again, that pole again. I can choose it to happen over here, over here, or I can choose it to happen over here. Now the difference is you will end up more loops to go into the top if you do it this way. If you do it the other way here, you end up with lesser loop going to the top, which I'm happy with, so I will choose this one. And then just keep going. And again here, where the penta vertex is or the pole is determines how many loops will go to the back and how many will go to the front. So if it's over here, then everything below this pole, those loops go to the back. Right, so if I have it over here instead, and because it's lower, right, one loop lower than the previous position, so lesser loop will go back, more loop will go to the top. So I want lesser loop goes to the top, so I choose it to be over here instead of there. But you can position it anywhere depending on what kind of result you want to end up with. Same thing goes to the bottom. So I think that's a proper position to change it. Maybe, not sure yet. Okay, so this tutorial is a little bit long. You see that the ear is actually having more structure than any other parts of the face, and it's the most useless part too because it doesn't change shape-wise. So I wouldn't spend too much time on the ear as long as it connects while the shape is represented a while. Then I don't really bother having some little imperfections out there if you know situations may suggest that to happen. So alright, so that's gonna be the ear, and then in the next tutorial we're gonna move on to what's happening to the rest of the head.